All right, welcome to the Carl Jackson Show, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Today was a lovely day. Gabe, you should be singing this. Lovely day. Sean McConnell was playing that on Dennis Prager's show when I was setting in today. So what we've decided to do, I was going to break up some clips from Trump's inauguration speech, and so much has happened since then. There's been festivities all day celebrating Trump's inauguration, celebrating Trump as the 47th president of the United States of America. Thank God. Can you imagine what life would be like, what America would be like, were Kamala Harris taking over the helm from the dementia patient that was not in charge? We found out that it was 6 people within his inner circle, and we had heard this news before, but a close knit of six people around Biden's inner circle that were probably likely making many of the decisions on Biden's behalf, including Jill Biden and Hunter Biden. But man, we would have just been in a horrible, horrible place. We also found out that Biden pardoned on his way out the door. He pardoned Anthony Fauci. He pardoned the J6 committee. He pardoned his family members. He pardoned General Milley. He pardoned a couple of the Capitol police officers. We also know that Trump now has pardoned 1,500 J6 protesters. 6 of them have commuted sentences. They will be looking at them with, just reviewing them further to see if they will go for a pardon. And he was asked by one of the reporters in the White House. I think he was in the Oval Office, if I'm not mistaken. He was signing executive actions, executive orders left and right. What is this for? A national emergency? As far as energy is concerned. He signed an executive order to end birthright citizenship. Again, the executive pardon to pardon 1,500 of the J6 protesters. He said he wanted them out tonight. 6 people, again, receiving clemency, at least for now. I mean, just absolutely an amazing day. Can you imagine? Seriously, Biden, what time do you guys think Biden went to bed today? Trump is still signing executive actions, going to more events this evening. We don't have it live for you, but it's just astonishing what this guy is able to accomplish and the energy that he has, and being able to speak to these reporters inside of the White House just fluently. He asked Peter Ducey of the Fox News channel, has Biden ever sat down and done anything like this? Or how long, has, just an open forum, if you will, reporters all over the place asking whatever questions they wanted. And Peter Ducey said, no, I really do believe this in all sincerity. And maybe I'm wrong. I think Trump may have answered more questions today than Biden did during his entire presidency. I don't think I'm exaggerating, but I could be wrong. And if I am, so be it. But what we decided to do is go to the speech itself, the inauguration speech, and just break that down. And again, we've informed you of the J6 protesters, their pardon. Biden pardons his family members, which tells me that they were guilty, because why would you pardon your family members if they've not done anything wrong? Some names I didn't even realize, frankly. It's because Trump was going to go after them. What could he go after them for if they had done nothing wrong? And Trump never said that he would go after your family. So it's just proof positive. Biden has essentially confirmed that he was a crook, that his family members were involved in the Biden corruption business, if you will. Influence peddling. The J6 committee got rid of all evidence, videotapes, so on, etc. All of their notations, memos, or what have you concerning that committee. So that proves that they are guilty of sin. Anthony Fauci, this is a guy that lied to us over and over again to cover his own behind, and then ended up using the pandemic to scare us into submission, many Americans, and the Democrats took a hold of that. It was just a crazy time. Some of the Capitol police officers that were pardoned. Why would Capitol police officers need to be pardoned if it was an insurrection going on with a bunch of J6ers? Ask yourself that question. General Milley, that literally shared with a Chinese official in the military, I forget the gentleman's name, that he would contact him if Trump decided to invade China in some way, shape, or form. Are you kidding me? All right. Without any further ado, this was a great speech. I couldn't imagine being Kamala Harris sitting in a speech having to take the incoming. Joe Biden didn't know what was going on, so it didn't matter. But Jill Biden did. So let's go ahead and roll it without any further ado. In case you have not heard the speech, we will break it up periodically just to comment on it. And for the sake of copyright infringement, we don't want to get in trouble here. But let's go ahead and roll it. This is Trump's inauguration speech. One of the best speech I've heard him give. Easily. All right, let's roll it, Gabe.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country, sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events.
Can you stop the tape? Can you imagine being Kamala Harris and Joe Biden sitting there? The golden age is here. We have an administration that can't even handle the issues here at home domestically, and yet here they are getting us into wars that they have no business getting us into, and they have no intention of winning. And imagine having to sit there and hear that. And the fact is, it's true. You hear the applause from the audience because they know that it is true. These people tried to fundamentally transform America, and they failed miserably. But they did do a lot of damage on the way out. Let's go ahead and roll it, Gabe.
It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly. And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago. Or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly.
Okay, so let's hold it right there real quickly. He talked about a public health system that is failing. Obviously, we have Obamacare, Medicare, Medicaid, all of these things. Now, those are entitlements, but when you're speaking of private health insurance and health insurance provided for the job, from your job, everything is getting more expensive. Everything is getting more costly. There's a bunch of red tape, not to mention we're putting so many illegals on the dole as well. All of this is contributing to the high cost of medical insurance inside of the United States. It's absolutely insane. But he spoke of the public health crisis that we have in an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed to be American. And I spoke about this earlier, but I watched a video from John Stossel. Many of you guys know John Stossel all over television, and libertarian-minded guy, real good guy when it comes to documenting and reporting big government issues. But he spoke to some college students, I believe they were Ivy League college students, if I recall correctly. And one was a black girl, one was if I recall correctly, a white young man, or white, actually maybe a white young man and a white young woman that went into college. All of them said they were smart, they were confident. They stepped into college thinking that they would knock college out and tackle their dreams, basically. And they got into college and essentially they became brainwashed. They were by their administrators, no less, into all of this cultural Marxism and racism and systemic racism and oppression and microaggressions. One black girl said she didn't think like that until she went to college. And then she was just like, hey, everybody's racist. And she saw everything through the lens of, through the lens of race. And then one day, she just realized she was getting depressed. She was getting anxious. The white students said the same thing because they wanted to belong. They wanted to belong. But these administrators, not other students, administrators would just push this nonsense, this crap on them, on these students. And then eventually they would cave and eventually they would become social justice activists themselves. And that happened. But this young black girl went to a skate park where she, somewhere in California, predominantly white area. And she was like, oh, now I'm going to get it. Now, these people are racist and blah, blah, blah. And they were impressed by her skating. They invited her in and she was like, it clicked. It clicked. She had been brainwashed. Anyway, let's go ahead and roll it, Gabe.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal.
Wow.
And all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over. Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
No applause from Kamala or Joe Biden. All right, let me stop here real quick. All right, so I was saved by God to make America great again. You see Melania in the background just looking dapper as a mug. Maybe they'll put her on, I don't know, some type of fashion magazine this go round, but it doesn't matter. I know she's not seeking the accolades, but it's a shame how she's been treated over the years. But Trump talked about America being in decline. Obviously, America's decline is over. You can see Joe Biden sitting there looking like he probably comprehended a little more than I expected, perhaps because it was so early in the day. Kamala Harris, just like I can't even imagine what she's feeling. I mean, he is straight up cutting them into pieces, and he's doing it in such a matter-of-fact way, but not a nasty way, because it's factual. It's factually based. But he does believe that he was saved by God. He does believe that to make America great again. And frankly, I believe this. I believe that God showed mercy upon Trump. I believe that God showed mercy upon America. I believe that God showed mercy upon all of us voters. Essentially, what I've been saying is I believe that God gave us all a second chance. All right. And that includes me, no less. So as that includes me, no less. All right, so that's what we're seeing and watching now, and obviously that was met with raucous applause, except by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden for some reason. All right, let's go ahead and roll it, Gabe. Carl Jackson here for MyPillow. For years, customers have been asking if MyPillow sells cross necklaces like the one Mike Lindell proudly wears every day. Well, they are excited to announce that Mike has partnered with a jeweler right here in the USA to create beautiful sterling silver My Crosses. You can save 30% today using promo code Carl. That's CARL at mypillow.com. Click on the radio podcast square or call 800-858-0263 and be sure to use promo code Carl, C-A-R-L. We don't spell it like the communists. All right, so you can choose from the women's or men's style. The My Cross for women has a more delicate look and is reversible with mother of pearl style translucent white enamel on one side and onyx styled black enamel on the other side. The My Cross for men has a slightly larger cross with onyx-styled black enamel and a slightly longer, thicker chain. This amazing offer won't last long, so order now, por favor. Just go to mypillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, or call 800-858-0263. Use promo code Carl, C-A-R-L.
Thank you very much. That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states. And the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
All right. So you're sitting there. You've got the Democrat Party that played the race card, that played identity politics, gender, race, base, you name it, class warfare. They went for the gusto on these things. They promoted Kamala Harris simply because she was a dark-skinned woman, and for nothing more than that, assuming that she could beat Trump, and she completely lost to Trump and in devastating fashion because she lost more of the Black vote, Latino vote, women vote. They did not know what to do. But the truth of the matter is she is a DEI hire. Biden admitted it when he first became president of the United States, or when he decided to run, or picked her as a running mate, I should say. He said that he was going to pick a Black woman. That was his only criteria. She didn't have to be bright. She didn't have to be intelligent. She didn't have to be skilled when it came to the issues of politics. She didn't have to be experienced in business administration or anything of the sort, running a government office. In none of that. No qualifications except Black skin and a vagina. And the Democrat Party paid dearly for it. Let's go ahead and roll it, Gabe.
Thank you. Thank you. National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that. Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
Okay, so let me hold it there. There's a reason why that's so important. So by Trump declaring a national emergency at our southern border, it gives him the ability to be able to call up the military to secure the border, meaning he ain't playing. All right, it is going to happen. He is not holding back on the border. The Democrats have done everything they can to destroy this country, to import Democrats, import Democrats. And obviously I'm being sarcastic here, but what they tried to do is import more Democrat votes by bringing in people from all around the world to be permanent Democrat voters. They want to keep them in perpetual poverty. And these are people that will take your jobs, that'll, take away your opportunity. And as we know now, they will kill you. They will rape you because they don't abide by the same rules that we do, because they've never assimilated into the United States of America. Now, obviously, that's not all of them, but it's far too many of them. And I'm sorry, no other country in the world is dumb enough to do what we do and leave our borders wide open for any and everyone to come into our country without vetting. That is absolutely insane. And the only people that would do that are radical, godless leftists who want to see this country destroyed, who want to see this country undermined, who want to put the man down, so to speak. But they don't understand that one day they will be the ones that are met in the street, that they will be the ones that are attacked, that they will be the ones that are raped. They don't get it. They don't get it. So God is having mercy on them as well, frankly, by electing Trump, by us voting for Trump, quite frankly. I believe that God has spared them, quite frankly. Let's go ahead and roll it, Gabe.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices. The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
Hold on. Pause it, Gabe. I wish we could. Did you see Kamala Harris's husband? He looks so dejected. He's the only one that gets how bad this is. This is a rhetorical drubbing. Man, I got to tell you, when I was on air earlier, you know, I'm on radio. I'm trying to watch. I'm trying to communicate with you guys. So I'm listening to the speech, and I'm jotting down as much as I possibly can. But there's a lot of stuff going on around you. So to just kind of listen and look at the people, which I tried to do earlier, but it's just you get a little more distracted, obviously, when you're in a radio studio. It is just absolutely hilarious. But again, he's ending catch and release. He's restoring Remain in Mexico policy. As you guys might remember, the Democrats created this CBP1 app where illegal aliens across the border that haven't invaded our country yet, but would like to invade our country, basically, hey, you communicate with this on the CBP1 app. Lets you know, but it's like you're booking accommodations inside of the United States. It's the craziest thing ever. Or perhaps you want to catch a flight from your country into our country illegally. We'll pay for it. You can book a flight. I mean, this is like what's these Expedia. Expedia for illegal aliens. I mean, it's insane. All right, let's go ahead and last thing. Restore remain in Mexico. That was a great policy. A lot of illegals just did not decide to take the trip to come to the United States of America simply because they would get turned away in Mexico. They would have to prove their case for asylum in Mexico. Mexico isn't as dumb as us. They're not going to keep them. And so they just wouldn't come. And then cartels to be named as a terrorist organization, we can deal with them like they're a terrorist organization, like they're Hamas. So by some of these executive actions that Trump is signing, literally before I even got on air to record this evening, I mean, they're in deep doo-doo. Those cartels are. Let's roll it, Gabe.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. Going to use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
I love this. Just a quick pause. I mean, obviously, the Green New Deal, the Green New Deal, the Green New Scam, it's all about control. Just like the COVID lockdowns, the goal from the left is just to keep you in perpetual fear. And if they can make you scared, then they can tell you what to do next. That's what they want to do. They want to create this fear in you, and then they want to be the champions that say, hey, we've got the solution to that fear. Let's go green. Meanwhile, we know that the batteries that we have to mine for, the minerals that we have to mine for used in those batteries, China is in control of that industry. I mean, literally 90% of that industry, China controls. And these batteries are toxic. If they go up in flames, there was a factory that went up in flames in California. You can't even put the fire out. I mean, it's crazy. What are they? Cobalt, lithium. It's insane. So this is great. You give people choices. Government doesn't have a right to tell you what type of car, what type of vehicle you should drive. And so Trump is going to put an end to that. And Democrats can't be more mad. He's going to resurrect manufacturing inside of the United States. Drill, baby, drill. This is all important. Fill our strategic petroleum reserve, which Biden lowered literally. In order to get himself out of a pinch after the Afghanistan debacle, he emptied part of the strategic reserve to bring the price of fuel down for consumers. But that was it. And then he did it again later on. I mean, just insane. That's for emergency purposes only, not for Democrats' reelection campaign. Let's go ahead and roll it, Gabe.
In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service, to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
Hold on, just a second. I'm sorry to stop so soon, but this is the guy that they said was a dictator. He wants to restore free speech. Biden and his administration, Biden's staff, tried to take it away. He wants to end the political weaponization of the justice system that the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration implemented, yet Trump is the one that gets called the dictator. Just let that sink in. Let's roll.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents, something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Let's stop there. Let's stop there. They used those COVID lockdowns to punish us. They lied. They completely lied. Everything fascist Fauci said, that's why he's getting a pardon, because we know he's a criminal. We know that he was sending money to the Wuhan Institute of Virology for gain-of-function research. He completely lied about it under oath. We have video to prove it. We have documentation to prove it. Rand Paul caught him in a lie on numerous occasions. Everything that they said would work did not work. And so this is instrumental. And then they got rid of some of our best fighters in the military because they refused to get the jab. And these people deserve to be restored to prominence. They deserve back pay and then some. In my opinion, they deserve a rise in rank because those are the true warriors. Those are the true warriors. All right, let's go ahead and play it. Oh, sorry. A couple more things. I love the fact that Trump said this is a society that is colorblind. That doesn't mean we don't see color. We just think it's unimportant when it comes to succeeding in life, whether it's with job opportunities, whatever it may be. Color isn't the first thing that we recognize as conservatives. It's just not important in that sense. It doesn't mean we don't see color. Of course, we see color. For God's sakes, it's just unimportant. It's just unimportant. And then two genders, I like to say two sexes. All right, I believe that the left made up the term gender so that it sounds fluid, and then you can figure out whatever the heck you want to be, which many people are trying to do. But listen, when it comes to the government needs sanity. The government needs common sense. There needs to be objective truth in our justice system. And so that's why there's only going to be two sexes, because that's all there are, male and female. Okay, let's roll.
This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be free to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies. Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs. President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
All right, just pause for a second. Can you imagine Kamala Harris trying to be tough on the world stage? Do you think anyone would have taken her seriously? Even though she is not senile, they would have taken her less seriously, I believe, than they took Joe Biden, because they know she's an empty suit. At least Joe Biden, at one point in time, even though he was always wrong on foreign policy, he could shuck and jive, so to speak, find his way around politics and all that kind of good stuff. She's just not talented at all. She does not belong in politics. I mean, it's as simple as that. Obviously, she keeps getting promoted, So I'm sure that's where she'll remain, but she should not be there. But imagine her, Kamala Harris, as the commander in chief with China and the Russia Ukraine war. She would be completely clueless as to what to do. No strength, no leadership. She couldn't even perform her job as a border czar. All right, let's roll it.
Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars. Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation, and right now our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken. I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We are going to win like never before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. In closing, that's just what we needed to hear. America is back. I mean, it's as simple as that. I don't think the road is going to be easy. I believe the next several months are going to be challenging. Perhaps this entire presidency will be challenging to some degree, but I believe the road to American greatness is back. I mean, I feel so hopeful. I feel so happy. I feel like we have a destination now. I feel like we have someone in the White House who actually loves America, just like we love America. And in that sense, America is already back. And I know President Trump, and right now I'm sitting in the studio and I'm not watching the live coverage. But again, before I came into the studio, he was signing all types of executive actions. And executive actions, listen, they're temporary. They're not legacy. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. And there's going to be times that you'll hear me on radio or on this podcast, and I'm going to be calling on you to call your senator and to call or to call your congressmen or your senators and your congressmen or women and let them know that we need to make America great again by passing we have to pass legislation. We've got to get inflation down. We've got to make tax cuts permanent. We've got to get rid of the censorship that exists. I think we have to abolish the Department of Education, or at least to the best of our ability. We've got to get the discrimination, the anti-Semitism out of our schools. We got to restore the rule of law. We should not be paying Planned Parenthood. There's got to be free speech, right? We've got to get our borders sealed. We've got to get our military cleaned up and strong again, rebuild ships and submarines and whatever we need to be. Whatever we need to have to become dominant, and again, become energy dominant, energy independent, and that way we're exporting more oil than we're importing, and that is all good. But also, we're just gonna, end censorship. Pro-lifers should not be going to jail. Grandmothers should not be going to jail for praying in our Capitol. We should be begging people to pray in our Capitol, as disgusting of a place as Washington, D.C. is. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in to the Carl Jackson Show. Again, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. And until next time, do not grow weary doing good. God bless you.